In 1871, the banks incorporated the United States and called the United States a corporation. And when they created the District of Columbia, what they did was they put that corporation in the District of Columbia. And they said that the members of Congress were actually managers of that corporation. And they said the President of the United States was actually the president of that corporation. So we're not living in the country that we think we're living in. And what I've actually done is I have said that we are under something called state capture. And I have said that there is an interregnum. And if you look that word up, that means that we don't have a legitimate government. And when the founding fathers wrote this Constitution, they realized that the bankers were trying to pull a fast one on us.
Rise and shine, fragile Americans. There's a victimhood to be claimed and microscopic germs to fear. The Kate Daly Show starts now.
All right. Welcome. Kate Daly Show. So happy to be with you today. So much to say. There's always so much we could talk about, truly. I mean, it's endless. You know, I thought 38,000 hours would do it. Nope. I insisted on doing my own research. Same with Melissa, same with Susan. And they're on the show with me today. And let me just tell you, it's endless. I mean, my gosh, we could fill thousands of hours of stuff that we've been lied to about. So, and stuff they keep buried and stuff that is ridiculous and how to save the country. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you guys. I'm, living in the desert of Utah and it's like 105,000 degrees today. So I'm trying to deal with the heat. It's only for a couple of months, so it's not the biggest deal because the rest of the year is great. So I appreciate you listening and watching from all over the world, though. I really do. And I've got listeners in every country, so it's mostly it's fantastic. And of course, Melissa's on with me today. So hi, Melissa, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm nice and cool. It's only 62 here right now.
Oh, be quiet. I don't even want to hear it.
This is very rare.
And so it's hot.
We'll be joining you at the 5,000 degrees and millions of humidity in a little while.
I can't even tell you how bad it's bad. It's bad. So, yeah. And I was thinking about the heat because I keep seeing all these articles. I talked about this before on the show, but they're building these ridiculous, the city council, the county, they're building these tubes at City Hall. See, even though we don't have a substantial amount of people here, relatively, they decided to have these ultra million dollar budgets. And these budgets are used for the stupidest things you could ever imagine. And so they've got, obviously a plethora of money to pass around. And so they decided to take this city hall and make this like Taj Mahal to themselves. Pickleball courts, private pickleball courts, you name it, the whole 9 yards. And they're so proud of this Taj Mahal. And they say basically that they deserve this, even though the population, I mean, it's ridiculous. It was a ridiculous, extravagant expenditure, okay, that wasn't really needed. But they had enough because they overtax us. So, and because they get money. So from the feds. And so they decided to build these slides. And I've mentioned this on the show before. They decided to make these metal tubes, these metal slides that people can go down, right? In the summertime, especially, and they can slide down. Like they're all dressed for City Hall, but you would want to, I guess, somehow, some way slide down the stupid long tube. And did you hear about this? Because now the amount, I haven't
heard about it.
Okay, the amount is $575,000.
Oh my gosh!
We thought it was $400,000.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, we thought it was $400,000. No, it's $575,000 that we know of right now. It's going to keep going up. But they decided to build these structures to slide down as if we're 6-year-old children, as if we're kids. Like that's our fun, I guess. I don't know.
How many stories down does it go?
I think there's like 4 stories. Yeah.
It's one
Something-
continuous tube from the fourth story
from
to
the parking garage
like to the street level.
Yes, because in a suit and tie or dress nice, you're gonna want to hurl your body down a metal tube, in 105,000 degree heat, because it's fun and because we're 6 and because it's cool. So yeah.
Well, I had some thoughts about that.
Did you?
Just off the top. This is called Midwestern logical thinking.
Oh my gosh.
What happens when somebody poops in the middle of the tube and you're
Wait,
going
what?
down? You think that ever
Would they?
happens?
Well, I guess they could. Yeah.
What happens if homeless people start sleeping in the tubes?
Oh my gosh.
What
that's true.
happens if
I hadn't thought of
somebody
that.
leaves drugs or
Oh,
needles or whatever in the tube?
Yeah.
4
mhm.
stories is far enough that you would not know. When you get on at the top, you won't know what's
Yeah.
coming at you, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's nobody supervising this, right?
Right,
There's
right.
nobody standing at the top giving
Yeah.
you the signal that it's okay and safe to go down, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that very quickly occurred to me,
Mm-hmm.
this is a big aluminum tube, right?
Yeah.
Or stainless steel or something. It's metal.
Mm-hmm.
And you get, what are your temperatures in the summer in St. George?
Well, they can be 114, 15. I mean, yeah, it gets bad. It's bad here. Yeah.
Well, maybe they should just call it the St. George solar oven because that thing is going to get hot. Any kid
Yeah.
who went down a metal slide in about
Mhm.
1973 in
Yeah.
the Midwest knows exactly what
Yeah.
that's going to feel like
Right?
and knows exactly the kind of burns people will have on the back of
Yes.
their legs as they go down
Yeah.
because the temperature inside that tube will be considerably hotter than the air temperature outside, like
Mhm.
up to 250 degrees inside. Now, does that sound appealing to you? Now you're in your nice dress and your heels,
Yeah.
and it's so whimsical. Just throw yourself down the tube and have a fun time at 250 degrees with who knows what coming at you.
Yeah.
I know here in my town, there are 2 places I know of that had slides at a business. Now, these were private businesses, both of them. One of them was they were, by the way, both of them were
Mhm.
inside in the air conditioning, and both of them are plastic slides. And only 1 story, both of them. One of them is still there,
Mhm.
and it's because it's
Look at
kind of a
this.
hippy dippy
Yeah.
sort of place to work, and they're whimsical there for sure.
These
The other place was at a kids science museum, and they took it out. 1
Mhm.
story,
Mhm.
they took it out because so many kids were getting injured in it.
I mean, if somebody pretty heavy goes down in these and gets stuck, it's going to be hell trying to get these out. These are long tubes. Government spends money on playground equipment for adults, and no one says anything. No one's saying anything. It's
Well,
amazing to me that they're getting away with it.
I'll give you another dose of just a little Midwest common sense here.
Mm-hmm.
We used to live in another town here in Indiana, about 50 miles south of Indianapolis, called Columbus, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And Columbus is world famous, actually, for its architecture.
Okay.
It's a town of, I believe, well, it's about 63,000 people in
Mhm.
town.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very small town,
Mhm.
really. It's the international headquarters for Cummins diesel engine.
Oh, okay.
And one of the former CEOs in the 1950s, early
Mhm.
50s, I believe, had this vision that to make a place really livable,
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to fill it with beautiful architecture. And so they created what's called, the name of the guy was Irwin Miller, was the
Mhm.
CEO, and he created the Cummins Architectural Foundation.
Okay.
And so his point, this was a privately funded foundation, by the way. Cummins
Mhm.
Engine kicked in money.
Mhm.
He personally kicked in money. People in town kicked in money. So it was a privately held
Right.
foundation.
Okay.
But what they said was, if you are going to build a public space,
Mm-hmm.
We will front you the architecture fees if you hire somebody off of this list of architects that we have. And the list that they had was of up and coming, famous, but not yet famous architects, people that the architecture world was watching. They were expecting great things from them. They had landscape architects, they had actual building architects, so as a result of that, the school that my son started school in was designed by a world famous architect, and it was just the school building, as were almost all of the school buildings in Columbus, were done by different architects who had different visions. The guy that designed Richards Elementary School, he thought it would be good for kids, little kids, to feel like they were going home. So the roof line simulated that same kind of peaked roof line of a house. And then each one of those peaks was its own classroom. And then they had windows on the side. So it was very homey feel was what he was after. The hospital that I delivered my second son in was designed by a famous architect. The library building was designed by I.M. Pei before he did the Louvre, before he did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But they also funded arts activities for the entire community.
Okay.
They had a program that they called First Fridays for families, and they had built into one of the malls. It was part of the design of the mall, a big stage, not a full theatrical stage, just a platform stage. And then they would bring people in. We got to see singers and dancers. My son was particularly entranced by some tap dancers one time, and we had to go buy him tap shoes when it was over.
Okay.
But it was absolutely geared at what is good for the entire community. There was sculpture in town. There were sculptures that saluted, Columbus's mechanical history with the engine stuff.
Okay.
But everywhere you went, there was a sculpture, there was a beautiful building, and they were practical buildings. It was the post office, the newspaper office, the bridge across the river, the park down by the river. It was the hospital. It was Cummins Engines, corporate offices. Everywhere you went, you were surrounded by lovely, beautiful architecture, which is a much better use, I think, of public money. And it wasn't public money, actually.
Right.
The architecture was funded by a private foundation, but they were going to build a post office anyway, right?
Yeah.
They were going to build the school anyway. So it was the private part of that funded the architecture. Then the entity that was building the building anyway was going to do it. My son, both of my kids went to Cub Scouts at a church building that was designed by Eero Saarinen, who's a very famous, internationally known architect. So, there's other ways to handle this than building, stupid things. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents. There's other ways to make your community beautiful and desirable. And there's other ways besides that. That was just how Columbus had done it. And now they are internationally famous. They attract 1 million+ visitors a year just to come to the town to see architecture.
The way government's supposed to work is, I actually did a show, and this got me in trouble too locally. I did a show where I pulled out a budget from the 1940s, and it was in a local community because this was entirely like one community in southern Utah. Okay, and so it happened to run in the newspaper, and they used to publish the budget. And the budget was like, city budgets were like 6 lines long. I mean, it was just like, here's streets and, and here's, these different things that we're going to pay for, because this is the amount of money coming in. Here's the population number. And then this is what we're going to spend. Then it turned into a business. and started competing. And that's why we used to always say the yellow page test, because it started competing with capitalism. It started when government competes with capitalism, things go really wrong because they tend to take tax dollars and then buy businesses, and they're not supposed to be a business. They're not supposed to buy businesses. They're not supposed to be a real estate firm. They're not supposed to do all those things. They're not supposed to build public pools. Those should be through capitalism. Those should be, you go, you pay, and you do it, because whenever they do golf courses and rec centers and things like that, then they're getting into business, and they're not supposed to be a business. So the fact that they took this and they decided to spend almost, upwards of $750,000 on this monstrosity. Whose ever idea this was should be removed. Whoever voted yes for this should be removed. This is a total abuse of your tax dollars that are going in. Now, they never have now enough money coming in. So what they do is they get the budgets really high and take money from the feds and money from the state. And then they toss it around. They give it to businesses that they choose. They're not allowed to do that. It's illegal. They spend it on garbage like this. Total shiat like this. So I'm looking at this going, is anyone going to say anything? Because we're not 6 years old, but we're getting treated like we're 6, because the mommies and daddies that run the city thought that this would be fun for us when we're all dressed up or in a suit and tie going to City Hall. And so I guess we're supposed to love this. I don't know. It's very, very weird. Well, they're metal. They're hot.
It is weird. And the weird part about it is, at the end of the day, there's going to be lawsuits over this thing.
Yeah.
If you get burned going down on the inside of that, well, who's going to pay? Do you have to sign a waiver before you take the thing down? So absolve the city of responsibility for burning, giving you second-degree burns on the back of your legs?
So COL Olds, is it Colonel Olds? I don't know. But he says, I'm exhausted of conservatives running on their balanced budget pitch, and we have not saved any money or balanced the federal budget in my life. That's true. We're not even really talking about that, though. I'm not talking about the feds, and I'm not talking about that, because that is like a diversion to all the important stuff that people should understand, where government is a complete fiasco. What I'm talking about is the people that run your city should be able to tell you what the budget is in probably like 10 lines. We should not be having these 100 to 500 page budgets with gazillions of dollars that don't account for the taxpayers, because there's might be only 100,000 people in a community that has a $600 million budget, which doesn't make sense. They're taking money from the feds. They're paying for this kind of stuff. This stuff is closer to home. You should be able to look and see what you're spending your money on, or what they're spending your money on. And if they're not spending your money appropriately, get them out. But I'm talking about just your local city and the garbage that they spend money on. And this is treating us like we're 6 years old. So
it would be a really good thing. I think I'm going to suggest this to somebody that I know that's running for political office here.
Yeah.
If they began to publish those budgets in the newspaper or on a website, we're going to have full transparency. We're going to tell you what our budget is.
Yeah.
It would be enlightening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And to the rest, they don't care anyway. So I just think that would be a great idea if they just publish, here's how much money we take in.
Yeah.
This is how much money we spend on law enforcement. This is how much money we're spending on, the community pool. This is how much money we're spending on fixing the street.
Right.
This is how much money we're spending on giant slides.
What they do is they hide everything in capital projects. Everything's about the future. And it's all about how the palms are getting greased, how many city council members are making money off land deals where they know something's going in, so they hurry and buy land. They're all just creepy as hell. And they pretend to be conservative.
Actually, is not just budgets. You're talking about corruption now.
Oh, major corruption. So I have no respect for anybody that is in elected office in my entire southern Utah. Like, I know them. They're horrid. They just give me the chills because they're such liars. But I look at this kind of garbage and think, why isn't the community pointing this out and talking about this? Why aren't they going, what in the hell's going on? Like, why are you treating us like this? And why are you spending money that you supposedly have extra, because why are we buying slides? And obviously we're taxed way more than we should be. So I'm not talking about federal. I don't ever talk about balancing the budget federally, because we never could and we never would. And they use it as a diversion. So you're right on that, Colonel, that if it's Colonel, they use that as a diversion. What I'm talking about is just, you should be, the city should be accountable for what they're doing, because you know what your population is. So you know what kind of taxes are coming in. So they're obviously abusing it and taking money from the feds and the state, which brings strings. So, and if you can compete in the yellow pages, you shouldn't be doing anything. You shouldn't be buying work trucks. You shouldn't be buying things when you can hire people with businesses in your community to do those very things. The city shouldn't be competing for jobs with the people that live there.
Well,
so
that's another thing where corruption runs rampant in that circle too.
Yes.
It's very difficult to get a clean operating city anymore.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to give the contract for snow removal to my brother-in-law who's got that business.
Yes. So somebody that makes slides is friends or a relative of somebody in the city council or the county,
or somebody's
got
getting
this contract,
or something. Something is amiss in that, because that's the stupidest thing ever in a place that has temperatures at 110 in the summer.
Yes.
That's
Amen.
just stupid.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just no other way to say it. I'm sorry, I have to say it that way, but a 4-story metal tube that anyone would go down when it's 114 degrees outside. Welcome to my childhood. All of us that went down the 20-foot slide that sat in the sun, the metal slide that sat in the sun, you didn't do it twice.
No, you did not. But they think we're stupid enough to go down dress nice in this monstrosity. So
they're not going to air condition it, are they?
Oh, heavens. I don't even know what they're doing with it. I mean, it's probably going to land on the red dirt that you're looking at right now in this photo. You never know. I mean, so enticing, right? But I'm sure that somebody gave somebody a contract. They bought a building once on Main Street in my city, and they bought the building for $5 million when the building was maybe worth like $250,000 at the time. And they took our tax money, spent $5 million, and said it was all for renovation and that they were going to make money on it. They never really did. I mean, it's still sitting there. It still has an event once in a while, but nothing like they said. They waste all kinds of money, and they do stupid things with it because they think it'll get them reelected if they spend it on stupid things. And so, here we are. And this is every city in America. And that's why we're bringing it up. It's not just our city. It's not just mine or Melissa's. It's every city in America is doing this. And they do it to get reelected. They do it to get brownie points, kind of like offering like free soda when you're in the 6th grade out of the vending machine, nominate me for president, of the class. So like that. Yeah.
Well, I want to kind of shift gears to a hot topic that just broke yesterday.
Okay.
With Peter Thiel, of all people.
Oh, yes.
And his Secret Dialogue Society.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that one?
Yes, I have. It's like a new Bohemian Grove. Go ahead.
Well, apparently this has been going for a number of years. So Peter Thiel has this invitation only group of, and they call themselves elitists. These are the elite people of the world. These are thinkers and doers. And they're going to get together every year at a retreat where they're having, really important discussions like preparing for World War III. And how's your sex life?
Well, they're probably doing each other.
What are some of the other topics?
I'm going to go with doing each other, Alex, for 500, because they're all gay. I mean,
one of them was like cult creation.
Wow.
Seriously, cult creation. And they have about 200 people that have registered in this group, and then they have guests. They have they can also bring guests, or they invite guests, I suppose. But the doorknobs running the show apparently left a portal open, and a hacker from Switzerland got into it and has the entire list of membership and has all kinds of things. So you interested in any names who might be attending this kind of thing? By the way, they're meeting next August 12th through 26th, or 12th through 16th at the Powers Court Hotel just outside of Dublin, Ireland. Kind of makes me
Okay.
hope that things are in Ireland are still kind of wild when they get there. But anyway, some
Uh-huh.
people who are on the list, it would
Okay.
be good to know. Gary Kasparov, I found, was a really interesting name on the list. The world
Mm-hmm.
chess champion, who also served as the Russian opposition movement coordinator. Doesn't that make you wonder what the heck he's doing there?
Well, is he gay? Because
Ezra
Peter's gay.
Klein from the New York Times, the
Gotta
opinion
throw that out there.
columnist.
Yes.
Some other people, the CEO of YouTube is on the list. Elon Musk is on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see who else we have to get. Oh, Benjamin Pasek, the producer of
Mhm.
La La Land, The Greatest Showman, Dear Evan Hansen, he's on the list. Then we also have people like Robert Rubin, the former U.S. Secretary Treasury and co-chair of Goldman Sachs.
Uh-huh.
We have the CEO of PayPal.
Yeah.
We have a couple of Pulitzer Prize winners. We have a couple of Nobel Prize winners. We have
Mhm.
Scott Bessent, the U.S. Secretary Treasury. We have Elon Musk. We have Ted Cruz. We have Mitch Daniels, the former governor of Indiana
Mhm.
and the former president of Purdue University.
I just
We
stand by
have-
my earlier
Yeah, we have
comment.
the president of Harvard on the list.
I stand by my earlier comment. It's kind of like Bohemian Grove. They're all together.
Yeah. In fact,
Mhm.
one of the articles that I read that has
Yeah.
just come out about this said this is the Bohemian Grove for the AI tech crowd.
And yes, this comment, just the drums. I bet they're doing worse things than just each other. Yeah,
Oh,
I would
well,
imagine.
They
But I'm
have-
just saying
they
that's
have
part
an
of it.
affiliated
Mhm.
website
Yeah.
that will match make you if you need love. If you're looking for
Mhm.
love at our meeting,
Yeah.
we'll match make you up with somebody.
Yeah.
And they say they made claim that they would keep everyone's information super duper confidential. Of course, now they had an
Mhm.
exposure with this hacker. And the hacker also says that one of the things that they wanted to know about everybody was their political leaning.
Mm.
So the hacker was unable to get that information, but
Mm.
knows that that is one of the pieces of information they are holding about each of these people.
Yeah. I'm sure there are a lot more clubs like this, and I'm sure there's a lot of Satanists in there. I'm sure there's a lot of Zionists pretending to be Jewish, but actually Satanists. I'm going to go with everything's fake and gay. And I do like that comment from Candace Owens, everything's fake and gay, because it is. I mean, these guys get together for a reason. I think it would surprise us to know who actually is in these groups, that are invited. They're invited for particular reasons. And so, yeah, and I do think they're doing worse things than each other. Yes, I do. Yep. I'm 100% that these little secret combination groups are disgusting and evil. And they're Satanists. I think these people are Satanists. Peter Thiel's been on the bankroll for a really long time and not private at all. So,
Well, and
not a
the
private
usual
businessman.
suspects from Palantir,
Yes.
PayPal,
Yes.
they're all on the list.
Yeah.
And if you, part of the reason why I
Mhm.
read the particular group of people that I did,
Uh-huh.
look and see, these are people, not just
Mhm.
AI tech people,
Yeah.
but these are opinion makers and thought shapers and people who are, if you've
Mhm.
won a Nobel Prize in biomedical stuff,
Mhm.
they want you too. And if you go back and you look at, I hate to say it again, but if you look at the Epstein list,
Mhm.
Epstein's list is kind of similar. He was
Mhm.
assembling a group of people, and these people, this group of people, has a particular interest in AI
Mhm.
and the future.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so
yeah.
they're mapping it out.
Yes.
That's why they have people like the
Mhm.
producer of Greatest Showman and,
Mhm.
Dear Evan Hansen. He's an odd pick, but he's not if you think about how Hollywood shapes
Influencers.
how we see the
Mhm.
world.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. And yes, there's a comment on here on Teal's model boyfriend who died under strange circumstances. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. That happens, and you'll see it with these guys. And then of course Nick from Texas says sounds like it wants to be a Diddy party. Yeah, I'm with you guys.
By the way, the CEO of
Mhm.
not Xbox,
Mhm.
and the CEO of Roblox
Uh-huh.
are there.
Hmm.
So, there's funny
Interesting.
things afoot. It's just smart to be aware of them
Mhm.
and pay attention. That story, I think, is going to continue to
Yeah.
yeah, to roll out.
Well,
Their cult building seminar, their cult building class, if you will,
mhm.
was led by a Christian guy who's, mega church Christian guy.
Mm.
So why are they talking to that group of people about cult building? Are they building cults for themselves? That's what I'm assuming.
Well, they have endless money and they have endless power as long as they do what they're told. And of course they're going to present like multi-gazillionaires because they don't really get this money, I don't think. I think they're propped up by the spooks to have this money, but and have this life that they're given. But yeah, there's some creepy crap happening within these groups, and I think there's so many more little secret groups like the Dialogue and Bohemian. I think those are just the ones that we've heard about. So I think
Well,
they meet often.
Bohemian Grove is hardly secret anymore, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, we
We're
know
all
about it,
aware
but
of the Bohemian
yeah,
Grove.
yeah. Well, they used to prop it up like a men's club. I was like, yeah, they're doing far more. Yeah, their little statues and
Club.
their little weird ceremonies. It just so reminds me of that weird movie Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman did. But
Eyes Wide Shut.
yes, Eyes Wide Shut. There's a lot of that. That's why I say these people are Satanists. I mean, they're willing to do whatever it takes to do the rest of us in, and they don't care. And their lifestyle says a lot about them. I'll just say that.
Well, just pause on the fact that both Ted Cruz and Cory Booker are on the invite list. Are there people more diverse in their opinion than
I
those
remember
two?
I remember in 2016 doing the show, and Ted Cruz was, being named by a lot of people, and I just thought, oh my gosh, he's such a Goldman Sachs guy, and he is not good. And I remember trying to tell people this, and they thought I was bonkers, because I was saying Ted Cruz is not who he appears to be, nor his wife either. But see, on our conservative side, it's really hard for people to get past the marketing of conservative values to see who they're really dealing with. And the fact that he's invited to this little party should tell people now a lot, even all these years later, about Ted Cruz. But people just got really bamboozled for a really long time about a lot of the characters, and they're all characters. They're characters on the left and characters on the right. Nancy Pelosi was just as much a character, or is, as Ted Cruz. It's just that we don't want to see it on our right. That's the hard part.
Well, I'm gonna here's in defense of the little people everywhere.
Okay.
We don't see it because we're not it.
Yeah.
We're not like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If my personal relationships, if I was dealing with people that were conning me the way politicians and these people are conning us, we wouldn't hang around with them for long. We would get we get the ick from them, and we would separate ourselves from them. Most people, I still have faith in most of the people that I deal with, even if they don't agree with me. They're decent people at their core.
Okay.
But the problem is, we want to believe that people out there are telling the truth. And that's the ultimate naivete of us. But I think that's how decent people generally are. And we've got to kind of maybe shift our thinking and understand that we're not in that world. That these people, there are bad people out there, and they are doing bad things.
And Mr. Gaylord Sith over here is like, I mean, this guy and buddies with Vance, and everyone is doing the Vance or Rubio for president, and I'm like, neither, please, neither. I mean, they're both interesting and keep interesting company. Rubio, I think, is 10 miles deep in the closet. And I think, I don't know about Vance, but I know Vance is CIA. And so he's doing a lot of business with Peter Thiel, and has for years. And they've really propped him up Hollywood wise with his movie and book and what have you. But Conservatives don't want to see it. So they go, ooh, Rubio or Vance, which one? And I'm like, are you as dumb as a brick? Like, what? Why would you want either one of these deep state actors? I mean, come on. Like,
Because
it's
we
getting
want
ridiculous.
to believe. We
Yeah.
want something. We don't want to be
I
in
know.
complete despair that every single person is
Yes. Do you know?
just wicked and yucky.
I know. Do you know when I out this info and I say these things, and we've been saying that about Rubio forever. He's just, an interesting guy. And I've been on the payroll for a long time. And same with Vance. And when I say these things, do you know what conservatives say to me? They go, "You're negative." I'm like, no, I'm just telling you about these people. No, that's negative. You need to be positive. I'm like, I don't understand. Do you not just want to know the truth about what's going on here and that both parties suck and they're both terrible and they're both lying? I can't understand why people can't see it. I don't know.
Well,
I think
the problem is if every single one of them is, not for real,
mm-hmm.
then what are we left with?
Yeah.
And that is a hardship and a hard
Mm-hmm.
thing to think. And it's so bad.
Yes.
Like, who would you vote
Yeah.
for? If you believe that every politician is compromised,
Mm-hmm.
who do you vote for? And if you believe that
Yeah.
your vote counts for nothing, why vote for anyone?
Yeah. Well,
And I don't
Mhm.
believe that either. I mean,
I think your conscience, I think what you can do, you still bring to the table. Just like I give money to a homeless guy, whatever he does with it, if he goes into the store and buys liquor with it, I mean, that's on him. I do what I can for people, but the responsibility of what they do is on them. So you can't control all of that. You can only control what you do. But so I think that you have to go, okay, do I vote or not? I know all the elections are rigged all the way down to local. And so I know I'm doing it in vain, but for the record, it's on the books. Do you know what I mean? So conscious wise, I go, okay, I played my part in this, but yeah, voting long gone. We don't vote our people in. The party does. The party brings us the characters.
So I'll have to share with you a little bright piece of hope.
Okay. All right.
From our little fight in Indiana
Mhm.
about data centers.
Mm-hmm.
And over in the western part of the
Yeah.
state,
Okay.
our governor, who has been totally two-faced about
Mhm.
what's happening with AI data centers, he told a bunch of people that he thinks every group, every county, every
Mhm.
community should be able to decide for themselves whether they're willing to have a data center.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be just neutral about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out there's millions and millions and millions of dollars of tax breaks being given to
Mhm.
AI data centers. And
Mhm.
he's signing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, they had a meeting at a luncheon and that the governor was going to attend in a place called Hobart, Indiana.
Okay.
And they bought a billboard right outside the location where this lunch was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, Republican Governor Braun, Amazon and Hobart City refused a health and environmental impact study for the hyperscale data center. Why? They put that out there. So he had to drive past it and see it. They had
Mhm.
protesters outside the lunch so that
Mhm.
coming and going, he had to be confronted by that. Now, I have my problem with some of this is, I mean, I think that's an encouraging thing. I think that's a
Mhm.
hopeful sign. People are beginning to speak up, but I also believe that politicians are so freaking jaded, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't care. Why should he care about that? Why does
Yeah.
he care about these little people that are standing out there? And in fact, Wired magazine just ran a story that the federal government is now warning about AI tech extremism.
Mm-hmm.
If you are protesting against an AI data center, if you are upset about the deployment of flock
Mhm.
cameras in your
Mhm.
community,
Mm-hmm.
you may be suspect of being like the Unabomber.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Yeah.
Because Ted Kaczynski is the root of all this anti-tech stuff. which is ridiculous. You know, are we
Mhm.
not allowed to voice our opinion about a data
Mhm.
center and the
Right.
concerns we have over environmental damage, over water damage, over power use? We're not allowed to talk about over what they are actually using the data center for. In fact, we're not allowed to talk about any of that, because if you talk about anything except the government line,
Mhm.
you are going to be a
Right.
domestic terrorist, and you're going to
Mhm.
be on a list, and they're going to watch you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Isn't that delightful?
Right. Yeah.
At what point do we say
Mhm.
that, my friend, is a fascist state? That is a totalitarian state. If the
Mhm.
only opinion you can have is the government opinion,
Right.
well, let's all shake hands with George Orwell. Because that's what it is.
Mhm.
That's just nothing but a totalitarian state.
Right. Right. You know,
So
there's a lot of police departments. There's cities that are ending their flock camera contracts, and the city in Redmond, the Redmond Police Department, the city suspended and later ended its contract. So I believe they did something to the cameras. I can't remember what. I don't know if they took them down, but I know that they did something to them so that they wouldn't work.
well,
So,
flock cameras are really interesting.
mhm, yeah,
And that's a hot topic in my
mhm,
backyard as
yeah,
well.
mhm,
We it just kind of came to everyone's attention that these flock cameras are being put up
mhm,
all
right,
over the place.
yeah,
And so what are the flock cameras for?
mhm,
Well, according to Flock,
mhm,
as these communities are discussing, I think
right,
Denver is one of the places that has just discontinued their contract with Flock.
mhm,
What Flock says is, but we're only just taking pictures of people's driver's licenses.
mhm,
Or not, excuse me, their license plates.
mhm,
As you drive by. Just one picture when you drive by. We're not keeping them forever. It's just one static picture.
mhm,
But the problem is, and Flock says we don't keep them. We don't do anything with that
mhm,
information
mhm,
because their customers are who they're trying to please. Flock is not the customer. Flock is the provider of the camera.
mhm,
Who is the customer? And I asked that question here locally. Who is putting these things up?
right,
It's our local law enforcement is
mhm,
putting them up.
yeah, the cities negotiate the contracts for the PDs. Mhm,
Right.
mhm,
So what are they doing? And
you're right,
Flock has been accused of, oh, if you drive by, they might be harvesting data off your cell phone.
mhm,
They're not just taking pictures of your license plate on the back of your car, but they're also looking at bumper stickers you may have or other
mhm,
other things on your car that make
yep,
it identifiable. And when you drive through the city and if you pass by 10 of these, they can reconstruct the route that you went.
yeah, yeah, they look at your
So it's not
schedule,
just
they
like
log
one
that.
picture.
Mhm,
It's 10 pictures. It's
yeah,
however many cameras you pass on your way. Maybe you're going on your way to church.
mhm,
Are you on your way to a medical appointment?
yeah,
People are significantly concerned about what Flock cameras do. And Flock is like, we're not doing anything.
mhm,
So I took a look at all this whole Flock stuff. And what Flock is actually saying, we are a visual only platform.
mhm,
But there's nothing to stop the police from adding at that same location things like what are they called? No, I can't think of the name of them. Like they can use that for geofencing purposes. They can add
mhm,
onto them things that listen. They can put hearing devices at the same place.
mhm, mhm,
What swordfish, is that what they're called?
I don't
The
know.
things that they simulate a cell tower so that your phone will connect up
Mhm,
and they can harvest data off your. So
yeah.
whether Flock's not doing it,
Yeah, but flock is still the mechanism of spying, no matter how you look at it. It's still a mechanism of spying that our cities are putting in. So,
but you have to look
yeah.
at the subtlety of the way we are played. Flock
Mhm.
says we're only taking pictures,
Mhm.
period.
Mhm.
they're not telling you that your local police department is putting 3 other things at that same location
Mhm.
with
That's
3
true.
other contracts.
That's true. And all are bad. So it's
All of them.
yeah. And the people don't fight it, which is really weird. It's kind of like not fighting data centers for the right reason and only fighting them for ridiculous environmental stuff instead of the fact that our government is spying on us. Our government is spying on us. Like, that's why you should fight it. But people are like, well, let's see exactly what they're picking up. No, we're getting spied on, and there's
Well-
no right in the Constitution for government to do that, in whatever role government is playing here. So
Well, Flock says
it's amazing.
our cameras are helping police departments across the country
Mhm.
solve hundreds of thousands of crimes.
But it
think
doesn't
they cited
matter.
700,000 crimes or
Right.
more
But it doesn't
were
matter.
solved with the use of Flock cameras.
But it doesn't matter, because no matter
No.
what matters is how they do it, and how they do it is not constitutional. So whether they get the bad guy or not, I want it to be constitutional how they get the bad guy. And there's a lot of people that go, "Oh, okay, sounds good. You're getting the bad guys." It's like, do you realize that once this is done, once this is put in, it's very hard to get out? People are going and spraying those cameras because they don't want them to pick up any info. Because if you guys have noticed in the newspapers, probably in the last 10 years, anytime they use technology to get the bad guy, they parade it around in an national article, as if, see, don't look at what we did, but what we did, my gosh, got the bad guy, because they don't want people to fight the loss of liberty.
Well,
So
don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't forget, while they're tracking the bad guy,
Mhm.
they're also tracking all the innocent people too.
Yeah, I mean that
It's
we
taking-
lose.
They don't just say,
Yeah.
"Oh, look, there's
Yeah.
a red Ford. That's what the
Mhm.
bad guy's driving. Let's follow that car." They're taking a picture of everyone.
Oh, I agree. And Nick, on YouTube, a Minority Report, absolutely pre-crime, and Colonel Olds, I'm just going to call you that, Colonel Olds. Thank you for not speaking German, right? Thank you that we're not all speaking German. I will say that we do not fight anything for the wrong reason, because we're not instructed to. It's because we depend on media to give us our outrage. And so they'll never tell you a loss of liberty. They'll just champion that they got the bad guy. I don't want them to get the bad guy if they're not going to do it right, if they're not going to do it constitutionally, because that means anyone can be subject to their tech and
Look at
invasion
what's
of privacy.
happening in the UK
Mhm.
right
Yeah.
now, when the
Yeah.
media and the police have got it upside down.
Mhm.
They've inverted what justice is now.
Yeah.
So we have 14-year-old girls in Scotland that are carrying hatchets and axes
Mhm.
and knives to keep people from
Mhm.
accosting them in a public park. And when that all came unglued,
Yeah.
they arrested the girl. They arrested the 14-year-old
Mhm.
instead of the 2 guys that were making sexual innuendos to her.
Right.
Now that has changed
Yeah.
in the meantime. They have actually investigated, because there's such an uproar right now.
Mhm.
But if they're
Mhm.
what is going to stop any of this
Yeah.
from totally, what if they say, if you go to the wrong church
Right.
because they're preaching the wrong thing,
Mhm.
and we're going to track anybody that's going into that church, and we're going to flash a picture of everybody's license plate,
Mhm.
and then we're going to come to your house and we're going to search your house
Yeah.
because we think that you might be suspect for having wrong beliefs.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not hard to make those jumps. And by the way, another grave concern about flock cameras.
Mhm.
There's a guy out in Colorado who's running a website where he's announcing where all the flock cameras are located nationwide. And he says that the flock cameras are easy to hack, that
Mhm.
they errors and setup and all kinds of things have ended up with live broadcast of information
Mhm.
onto YouTube and onto
Mhm.
social media and the internet.
Right.
And one of the grave concerns is, what if you're a woman
Mhm.
or a man who has been abused by somebody and they hack into the system? What if it's a police officer? Police officers are using flock cameras to track their ex-wives.
Mm-hmm.
They're using flock cameras for their friends to track,
Yeah.
to stalk people with.
Mm-hmm.
And what's Flock's response to that? Well, we know that abuse is going to happen. Sorry,
Mhm.
stinks to be you.
Yeah.
I think that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So they're not secure. They don't even have, for me to get into my stupid internet accounts, I have to have second party identification and have to have 16 different,
Mhm.
passwords that have 8
Mhm.
letters and 7 numbers and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they have nothing on there. There's no security on these cameras.
Right.
That they said a 12-year-old could hack these cameras. So I can't hack them. I'm not 12, but I think that there are some significant
Mhm.
security and privacy concerns. Here in my town, there is a neighborhood. It's not a high crime neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It is just a residential neighborhood that has a flock camera at each of the entrances in and out of that neighborhood.
Okay.
And so the question has been asked, who are they surveilling
Mm-hmm.
in that neighborhood?
Mm.
So, we are not privy to know where those cameras are or why
Mhm.
they're there.
Yeah.
But I know here in my town, they have announced that they have paired them up with audio listening devices that listen for gunshots. And the problem with that is all of this stuff
Mm-hmm.
is not reliable.
Right.
Like they don't always, apparently the statistics on them are that in Chicago, there was a huge civil rights case. The Chicago police went in armed and
Mhm.
arrested someone and said
Mhm.
there was a gunshot fired from your car. And the reason we know that is because we detected it on this system and the AI said it was you.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid said it wasn't me. And the police ended up having to let him go because there was no evidence and nobody can prove the reliability of these systems. So if they're going to prove and save us all from crime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to be more reliable and they're not.
Right.
So why do we have them at all? Let's get rid of them entirely. Like you said, they're
Yeah.
unconstitutional and they're watching innocent people
Mm-hmm.
in the name of whatever.
Well, I appreciate you. It's interesting, and we should be saying no to all of it, and we don't. It's like we always are directed by horrid media by bought and sold media to only care about certain aspects and certain things. And then somebody had mentioned Alexandria is against data centers in New York. Well, Alexandria is a bought and paid for congresswoman. She was an actress waitress and she got picked out of 10,000 girls. And this is common knowledge. This is not conspiracy at all. And so people don't realize that she is an actress. So she'll only go so far. She's horrid. She's very stupid. But she's got, she's a nitwit, but it'll make it look like leftists are fighting for the data centers against the data centers. And honestly, the entire country should be up in arms over the data centers because it's a collection of it's so many violations of the Constitution. We don't have time to get into it. But
so my caution on that is that there's a whole lot of people out here who say, well, if she's in favor of it, I'm against it.
Yeah, because
she's kind of a knee-jerk reaction.
Yes, they
figure
do.
the issue out on your own.
Yes.
And then if you have a left-wing friend and that would be convinced by her, then use it.
Then be mad at it for the right reason too. I mean, come on. We're celebrating 250 years of what? Wussbaggery? I mean, I'm getting so tired of us not standing for anything when we don't in this country. We just figure that freedom was won 250 years ago and we haven't had to work for it since. And I can't even imagine the state that we're in now. Like, it's hard to even realize where we're at right now with the loss of liberty and how much the Constitution's abused.
Just understand
by both sides of
Keir
government.
Starmer in the UK has now just said
Uh-huh.
that in order to have access to the internet, you have to have a digital ID, you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a passport,
Mm-hmm.
you have to, he set these incredible standards, and no one under, no youth
Yeah.
will be allowed to have access to the internet at all. Now, I have issues. I think there's a lot of things that youth get into in the internet that's not
Mm-hmm.
good for them. But do I want
Government doing it? That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
It's a
why-
segue
it's
in to
because
use
Keir
the youth.
Starmer wants to regulate what people are saying about him.
Well, and they use the youth to get the hooks in. So they use the
Yes.
youth as their scapegoat reason to then control the internet for everybody, not just the youth. So people don't
Well,
see that though.
yeah,
It's
it's a
so sad.
dangerous thing to have
Yeah.
digital ID to have access to the internet.
Yep. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Melissa. Midwest Melissa, appreciate you. Thank you. Interesting hour for sure. We'll put Susan on. And I do want to mention, thank you so much. I do want to mention something, and that is that the organ donation, Truth About Organ Donation ebook is up now. You can go to katetalks.myshopify.com and you can get the truth about organ donation. And once you read this, you won't be able to unsee the information. And I encourage everyone, because I know that it's presented when you get your driver's license as a checkbox. And if you've checked that box and you think you're just doing something nice, you might want to rethink that every situation needs to not just be assumed that you're going to be a donor, because the hospital will now assume that you're a donor, pretty much that you have no reservations about it. And it's not going to be dependent upon the medical emergency that you're in. But let me just tell you, this is important information. The truth about organ donation and the definition of brain dead, how that all came about. It's in an ebook. Normally ebooks sell for $20. Right now you can pick this up for about $8. Do it because the information is solid and factual. And you're going to want to understand globally what they're doing with this too, and where they're going in 2030. So hey, the ebooks are solid information for everybody to be able to grasp what's really going on, instead of the BS that we get presented by all forms of media on the right and the left. And so we know the left is taken. We've known that for a long time. CNN and Fox are the same thing. But they just have different wording to attract different kinds of viewers, but they say the same messages. On the right, though, we don't understand that stuff like this isn't out there for us to peruse. So I put it into an ebook. That show was very shocking for people. Go to Kate Talk. I did a show on it, katetalks.myshopify.com, and it's all written out for you. So grab the ebook. It's brand new today. So Susan is with us. I appreciate you coming on, Susan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great today, Kate.
Excellent.
Loving to hear some of these topics.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's so many. So where are we going? What are we talking about?
I just had to urgently say, you talked about the St. George slides.
Oh yeah, St. George, Utah.
I just have to say, they missed an opportunity because somebody should have thought of, and I thought of it.
Yeah.
Slip and slides in the garage. You put the slip and slides in the garage and then down the ramps where the cars go up. That would be brilliant for kids
She's
and
talking
families,
about
don't you
this.
think?
Yeah, I mean, if we have slides, then we're going to get treated like we're 6. Why not slip and slides? I'm
Slip
good
and
with
slides.
that. Maybe a
Oh my
snow
gosh.
cone when you
And
get
then
in there.
you could do like a ninja course inside and like hop from car to car. I mean, they could make it really, really family oriented. You could have kids swinging from bungee cords
There you
inside
go.
the garage. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So many opportunities for family togetherness. Have they literally lost their freaking minds?
It's decision making. And what they do is they say, well, this is a designated tax for recreation, so we can give you any BS that we want and you're just going to like it. And that's why I say to people, go look at your city councils, look at who they really are, and not the liar, like they lie and say they're conservative or whatever, but go look at who they really, really are behind the curtain. I don't even have one in my entire area of Southern Utah that actually is a conservative. So we get a lot of lying going on, but let me just tell you, this is happening all over the country. And it is a rare thing to get even one to stand up to all the nonsense. So when they build this kind of crap, and yeah, they'll probably do slip and slides next. They treat people like they're 5. Do you guys remember the hand washing videos during COVID?
Yes.
Blovid is what I call it, because it was a total utter lie from start to finish. But they did the hand washing videos for all of us, like we didn't know how to wash our hands, so they taught us. I had a mayor who was that idiotic, who taught us how to wash our hands. And I'm like, yeah, I know how to do that. Thank you, though. But they treat us like we're 5. And they like it.
Oh yeah, they love it.
They love it.
And people jump on board,
Yes.
and they get very in sync
Yeah.
with what these people are
Yes.
trying to do. And I think it also speaks to a generation of people
Yeah.
who are they're coming of age, but they're not
Mhm.
having kids, so they're
Mhm.
kind of aging past that in their 20s.
Mhm.
So they still like to do a lot of really childish things without having an actual child in mind.
Yeah.
Like things seem like a good
Mhm.
idea until you cannot imagine putting your own child
Mhm.
on something like that. And then you go, wait a minute, this is insane. So
Well,
I think that is part of it, is
le-
that you have like a stunted emotional
Yeah.
growth generation, some of them coming up going, that would be fun. Why not? Because they don't have the same risk aversion that parents do. Like the
Yeah.
inborn
Mhm.
necessity to
Mhm.
protect isn't fully matured. And so they go, sure, why not? That looks cool. Why not?
I
I don't care.
I worked at a media company that literally did Halloween. Everyone did Halloween boxes, like for Valentine's, and we acted like we were 5. Like, I don't know why people are doing stuff like that. And I think they think it's bonding. I don't know, but in a really strange way, like we're all sick, so we're gonna bond, that like that. It's very
Mhm.
strange. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Instead of orienting it towards
Yeah.
actual children who,
Yes.
because then
Yes.
you enjoy it through the kids, actually. You don't need
Mhm.
to get candy. You can enjoy your kids getting candy, right? And
Well,
then, of course, you can steal from your children. But
yeah,
that's
I
another
mean, it's the
topic.
parent tax, but I mean, come on, give me a
The mommy
break.
tax. That's
You
right.
know what? Adult pacifiers rising in popularity, and
Oh,
hug rooms and things like that. And I'm like, oh, we're digressing. We're
yeah.
digressing.
And so I do think this is part of that,
Yeah.
because there was no
Mhm.
adult in the room to go, oh,
Yeah.
this is a really crazy bad idea.
Like stupid. It's just stupid. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. It's like having
Ugly.
private pickleball courts at City Hall, up at the top so no one sees them. And you're just like, why are you building that for yourself? Can you go use the other ones you spent our money on? But that kind of thing. Yeah, it gets old. But see, every city, go look at your city and what they're spending money on. All the golf courses and all the different things. They should never own a golf course, a pool. They should never own those things. People should own those things. So private business. So what do we have today?
Okay. So we have an interesting topic on
Mhm.
that companies have figured out that they can use Reddit to manipulate AI results. So here's what's happening. They have started finding this on peptides. So peptides are like an area that's slightly unregulated in the supplement industry, and it's supposed to be kind of groundbreaking, kind of
Yeah.
like the building blocks of
Okay.
other components. So people are hacking into those, using those. Well, what they found was that people were searching for information and doing it on AI, ChatGPT. But if you search in Google, the first thing that comes up is Google AI's result, right? That
Okay.
has scraped information from all of these places. And Reddit threads are very, very high on what the AI is scraping for information.
Mhm.
So the peptide and hormone replacement therapy companies have been surreptitiously, this is from a 404 article, spamming Reddit in an attempt to get their posts scraped by AI chatbots. The strategy is an effort to systematically manipulate the answers provided by chatbots by manipulating the underlying source material that those chatbots will scrape. In this case, a popular Reddit community. So this Reddit community is on
Okay.
biohackers, meaning you're hacking your internal biological system. You're looking for ways to increase longevity, et cetera. They're called biohackers. So the moderators last week came out and said, you know what, we are going to be banning new posts about peptides and hormone replacement therapies because of manipulation by these big companies that make, market, and sell them. And so there was nothing been, they weren't suspecting this before. And because people were just posting about it. And they thought, well, this has been a very long running subreddit about supplements, experimental pharmacology, like what are some off-brand uses of medications. And so that's a very popular topic.
Right.
And peptides and HRT became wildly popular. And then they realized that AI search engines were pulling answers from Reddit. Companies are using us for this purpose so that it boosts their like the ranking of the information, and flooding these subreddits with this information, and the companies were doing it. And so they were like, wait a minute, this is all supposed to be organic, people just talking about it. But the companies have figured out how to hack the system, and they're actually manipulating the Reddits. These are with bots, sock puppet accounts, and human accounts that are paid to promote brands that are becoming a core strategy of these big firms. So the firms themselves that promote, you know, like a company will hire somebody to do, it's called SEO, where you bump up the ranking of the information. And so they're figuring out, wow, we can get, like a company called Red Rover. It says, we'll get you the #1 rank on search engines. If you pay us enough money, we'll get you the #1 rank. Well, now they're saying we'll get you to pop up to the top recommendation
for
on
AI.
the AI searches.
Right.
So this is influencing millions of people and consumers to go in the direction of these products, and especially teenagers, young adults who may be more susceptible. And it never even occurred to me that this could be happening, because when you get information, you put in a search, say into Google, it comes up with the AI answer at the top, which means it's visited 10 other websites and found information. It's consolidating it in a summary. You can go and click on the little tiny buttons of where that information came from. But a lot of people don't do that. They just look at the information and go, great, I don't have to actually go and search it. I'll just take it for granted that this is accurate.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is, so peptides are part of these injectable amino acids, like the GLP-1s are kind of a compounded peptide. HRT is being used by trans people. That's hormone replacement therapy. But women going through perimenopause, and these have really exploded. And this article said basically it's something of a health wild west, and especially on Reddit. They don't have much. They don't have much regulation, and so they said we're seeing this alongside incredibly risky sourcing. Teens posting about wanting to grow like their genitals a few extra inches, so they're willing to go this direction. So all of a sudden, the moderators,
nothing's changed in history.
Whoa.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Nothing's changed in history.
I mean, you can't even begin to believe what this is. And so it's creating what are called mega threats. Like this is becoming almost its own growth culture. And people are being deceived by this. So that's the bottom line. It's not organic, it's deception, and it's to increase people wanting to go this direction. Now, this can be true of any social thing as well. So if feminism had started during this time, this is what they would have done. They would have put it in a subreddit, and then it would have made it explode and look like it was very organic. So this is interesting that the Reddit people themselves, the moderators, have said,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, we're
Right.
catching on to this,
Mhm.
and we're gonna put a stop to this." So it's a
Okay.
manipulation of consumers.
Yeah.
Now, sophisticated consumers, we know how to go deeper and research. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I might want to try this. Let me go research deeper. I'm going to go on Google Google Documents or Google Scholar. Look at
Mhm.
actual trade journals, see what those say.
Mhm.
But most average people don't know how to do that, especially young people.
Mhm.
So, do you go to Reddit? Do you use Reddit?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us do. And we want to hear what the chatter is on something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We
yeah.
want to hear organic. Like,
Uh-huh.
what do people find if they
Right.
bought this product? Or
Mhm.
what have been the downsides
Mhm.
of buying certain things? And I think that's super valuable because
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
the marketing will give you the promotion, the pro,
Mhm.
but you don't get to hear the cons.
Mhm.
And you really do want to hear what are the downsides. Because sometimes the downsides, like, what were we saying? Oh, this restaurant, it had some negative stars. And you're like, oh, what are the negative stars? Oh, it just took too long to get into. It's so popular. It just took a long time to get in. Okay, well, I still want to go
Right.
because that's not the kind of.
Yeah, we like the chatter for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, and they said part of this is learning pattern recognition. Now, from the subredditors, they
Mhm.
were like, yeah, we had to really just figure out and start seeing the patterns.
Mhm.
They said a lot of it has become pattern recognition. You literally just sort of know what to look for, but the problem is you don't want to become punitive to the
Mhm.
real people
Mhm.
who are just genuinely posting. You don't want to start deleting people.
Right.
But they said the over moderation risk is very real. So they have internal safety teams leveraging
Mhm.
human reviews, and they're trying to remove this content at a massive scale because these bots don't sleep. They can just keep posting and posting and posting.
Mhm.
So this is kind of what we're up against, like the humans versus the bots.
Mhm. But they're going to
And
try to get rid of something that people use and honestly utilize because of the bots. So they put the bots out there. It's just this little game they play. So they point to the bots and go, "See, now we have to scrap it all." And so they're quietly getting rid of anything that you can go and get like a real organic, real truthful statement from that somebody makes, and an opinion by somebody. They want to out that.
yeah,
They
yeah.
want all
And,
AI
it's
and
interesting because
yeah.
anything you read, like
Mhm.
commentary under you, like on a YouTube video, and then you read the commentary, or on an X
Mhm.
account and you
Right.
read the commentary, it really does
Mhm.
become a game of detection.
Mhm.
You have to be able to suss out what is real and who
Mhm.
sounds like a real person.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's getting harder and harder. And they said these companies are starting to game the moderators. So they're trying to
Mhm.
make it seem like more real, more human.
Right.
So the game is getting harder to
Yeah,
play.
I mean,
So
I think so.
that's
I wrote an ebook on this, and it's about AI, and it's about what starts to happen in 2029, and the direction that we're being led into that no one's talking about. And one of the things that came out of it was, and go get the ebook because it supports the show, but also because it's got really great info in it, and that's at katetalks.myshopify.com. But because of the fact that in the future, finding somebody that's real, that you can actually identify as real, that's making real comments, and you don't even have to agree with all the comments, but somebody that's real is going to be way more successful in AI because of the fact that everyone's being led to utilize AI, and you can kind of sniff AI out a little bit there. It's easy to see that people are using the fakery, and that being truthful and real is what's going to sell in the future, and that people are going to be just searching high and low for somebody real. And
Or authenticity.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Genuine,
that's what's going to win
authentic,
out.
truthful. Mhm.
The ebook goes through how to do that online right now and substantiate yourself now to do that, so that by 2029, when AI does remove a lot of jobs, that you could actually succeed in this space. But it's tough. I mean, we're up against a lot, and really, being real and authentic is going to be gold in the
Yeah.
future. Hmm.
Yeah. Having an established
Mhm.
voice and
Yep.
established authentic identity
Hmm.
that's real, that's down to earth.
Yeah.
And, the funny thing about it is so many more people who are now, we were all susceptible to politicians in the past, and now everybody seems fake. All the
Yeah. Oh,
politicians
they
seem
are.
like they're being paid
Yep.
because they really are. They really
Mhm.
have been given money. That's
Mhm.
how politics works. And now they cannot be their authentic selves.
Right.
And that's the system that we set up.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
nobody really to blame but ourselves, but we didn't know. We didn't know this was kind of a dead end street in
Mhm.
terms of who we could trust in politics.
Right.
That's why anytime we start to get somebody authentic, they get shut down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what your opinion is. Hear about the guy running for Los Angeles mayor, whose name just escaped me.
Spencer
Spencer.
Pratt.
His
Mhm.
business just got burnt down.
Mhm.
He came out and said, I've got video on somebody, and his business
Mhm.
just got burnt down. So that's a clue. You
Mhm.
can't 100% say he's not bought and sold, but
Yeah, I
kind of a
mean, he is an
clue.
actor. He
Anyway,
is in Hollywood.
we're up against it. We're up against the bots.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to add, there was something interesting on software updates.
Mhm.
We're increasingly facing things that like turn against us, don't work
Mhm.
for us, but they kind of go haywire. And I have to share this because it's
Mhm.
been so hot. Software update automatically turns off Amazon delivery drivers' AC during dangerous summer heat. So the big Sprinter vans for Amazon that most of us, we have packages on those vans. They got a software update.
Mhm.
It's just sad. I mean, it says if the driver is not in the vehicle for more than 30 seconds, their
Mhm.
air conditioner gets cut.
Hmm.
The air conditioning gets
Yeah.
turned off. And it said it was an update. And one driver said, obviously, we all hate this, in part because drivers have figured out how to get a
Mhm.
bunch of packages and then just run from door to door if they're
Mhm.
in a row,
Mhm.
and then deliver a bunch of packages. So now their air conditioner gets turned off. And they said if it's hot out, it
Mhm.
takes a while for that air conditioning to get turned back on. It says, thing is, we're up and out way longer than we are driving. So the AC turns off, and when it turns on again, we're already
Mhm.
getting up before the air is even cold. It
Right.
effectively
So
made
are
the
you
AC not work, and
right?
those vans get as hot as blank.
So
Uh,
in the event of this, are you pointing out that they have control over those vans to control their AC?
I don't know.
Like
Tell us about
everywhere?
that.
Well, everywhere, because I just wonder why you were bringing this up, because I think that there's a lot more control over our cars. I just had Eric Peters on, and we were talking off the air too, and I'm just saying there's just a lot more control they have over our cars, so they could make it
Mhm.
very unbearable for people.
I don't know, but I can't imagine
Just like the smart
your
meters in
basic
houses.
life-sustaining air
Mhm.
temperature when it
Yeah.
is so brutally hot, especially
Right.
in the summer in the South here.
Yeah.
Um, do they? This is your life that
Yes.
they
Yeah.
are playing with for money, and
Mhm.
I it's shocking, but it's
Well,
not shocking.
so in
And
cars and in houses, we have the smart meters. And I remember we had a utility company that used to come on the show when I was doing local radio. And this is back in the day. And they got really mad at me because I was talking about smart meters coming. And I was saying, don't do the smart meters. It gives too much control to government to be able to, they already have control over our water. And that's when they took control over the water government, that's when they started claiming drought. So anyway, we're all living in a drought forever. Anyway, so we'll push that topic aside for a second. But we started talking about smart meters, and we started getting a lot of hell for it from the utility companies. They were very, very angry at me for talking about it because they didn't want people to think that it was centrally controlled. And when they have control over your AC, when they have control, and I remember, Susan, when you were in California, and you were talking about this because the air got shut off because it was kind of parceled out, and so, you know, when they have that much control over your car, over everywhere you go, over your house, I mean, it's just, we don't fight it. We don't fight it for all the right reasons. We don't fight it. And we should be fighting it for the right reasons. And that is, government should never have this kind of control over our lives, period.
No, absolutely not. You're right. We were out here for a wedding and we got home and it was so hot. And we were like, why is it so hot? It's because the smart meter on a Airbnb had been programmed to be off during the day, like people at work. You know, you don't need your air during the day. And then it was like, well, we'll make sure we're turning it on. We got it on. And then it's like, well, it'll be up. We'll get it up to the temperature you want in the next 7 hours. And we all looked at each other like, are you kidding? It's going to take 7 hours to make the house feel comfortable.
Insanity.
What in the world?
So
that was ridiculous.
We're getting a comment on YouTube.
We couldn't control it.
We're getting a comment on YouTube that you can get it removed for citing health concerns. And I like that information. Thank you. So if you want it removed, because people thought I was nuts.
We all looked at each other. We were totally helpless. Here we are in a modern house, and there were like 6 of us. There was nothing we could do. We were like, this, oh my gosh. What, talk about a surprise. Like, who would have voted for that? Who would have said, oh, that sounds great?
People that love government, and I'm talking about a lot of the lefters that love, on the right, they do too, for different reasons, by the way. But on the left, they love government, and they never think government's going to turn it on you. Like, they're not going to do something nefarious. And it always baffles me because they've been doing nefarious things since the dawn of time. So I don't know why there's this constant hope that they're not going to turn on you. But when they have control in a smart meter, that's bad. And when they have control over your vehicle, that's bad too. And when they can control the speed, and they can control the air, and they can control all these things, that's not okay. But people aren't trained to fight it. So we don't.
You can imagine how, if there is, let's say, they say, oh, there's an incident, there's a shooting around a school. We're going to make sure cars can't be operating inside a radius around the school. So if your car pulls into that radius, it just goes dead. I mean, I can imagine somebody would think that was a good idea. Right?
Yeah.
Or if we want to contain people in a pandemic, you know, we're just going to make sure all these cars are inoperable.
Scamdemic. Yeah. We'll just make it uncomfortable.
Yeah. Just make it uncomfortable. I also wanted to just bring up, this is a little bit of an old story, but there was a release of information about internal emails, which I always find fascinating. This has to do with a leaked email suggests that the Ring doorbell plans to expand search party surveillance beyond dogs. So they told us, oh, this is such a great thing. Your Ring camera can now have a search party with all your neighbors to look for lost pets.
Right.
And everyone would think that is so great. Well, as it turns out, they promoted this during a Super Bowl ad, and then in an email that Siminoff, president, sent to all the Ring employees in October, said the feature was, quote, introduced, quote, first for finding dogs, but that it or features like it would be expanded to, quote, zero out crime in neighborhoods. Quote, this is by far the most innovation we've launched in the history of Ring, and it is not only the quantity, but quality. He said, I believe the foundation we create with Search Party, first for finding dogs, will end up becoming one of the most important pieces of tech and innovation to truly unlock the impact
Amazing that
of
they
our
can
mission.
sell it. They can
can now-
actually
You
market
can
it
now
this
see
way.
a future where we are able to zero out crime in neighborhoods. So many
Mhm.
things to do to get there, but for the
Mhm.
first time ever, we have the chance to fully complete what we started.
I will take the nosy neighbor, the Karen neighbor, any day over their new technology to make sure those cameras do all these things for us, like find lost dogs. People can find a lost dog. They've been doing it for centuries. And also all of these things that Ring is touting. It's kind of like we've been talking about when what was the newscaster whose mother disappeared? That's the story.
Oh, Samantha Gunther.
Okay. And so what did they do? They used, it wasn't a Ring camera because
Yes.
it wasn't even activated, but they said they could still get the info. And so just ignore that piece. Just ignore the fact that we could still get the info. What you want is the info. So here's the info. And they could see the guy that whatever actor guy was abducting or going into the house. But they said, don't look at the fact that we got the info from an inactivated, not paid for service. Just look that
Right.
that the camera worked. Just be grateful. And now they're selling it as a find the lost dog. Why? Because people won't fight that. They'll just be like, oh, are you a dog hater? You don't want to find lost dogs?
Right.
No, I just want to find it the natural way, the way that we used to. I'll take the nosy neighborhood watch over Ring cameras that are grabbing personal information and storing it any day of the week.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
you are so right. And so they had originally created a partnership with Flock, the Flock cameras you all were just talking about.
Yes.
But then the companies canceled that partnership following widespread criticism. So something happened,
But the
and he
cameras
put
are
out
still up.
another statement after Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Mhm.
He said it was so sad. He says it just shows how important the community request tool, the search party, will be as we fully roll it out. It is so important to create the conduit for public service agencies to efficiently work with our neighbors. Time and information matters in these situations. I'm proud we're working to build the systems to help make our neighborhood safer. They used the Charlie Kirk assassination as this is what our tool will help solve. And I guess now, before this, the police would go door to door and saying, do you have any individual footage? Like just individual footage, right? And now this search party feature will make it all the better. I don't know if you saw the Chris Pratt recent movie, Mercy Seat.
Yeah.
And
Mercy.
they used like this future of what this technology would be, right?
Yep. And maybe that was one of the reasons that the CIA took out, that intelligence took out Charlie Kirk the way that they did. And we're still getting to the bottom of that, aren't we? Because it wasn't Tyler. He didn't do it. And so Tyler actually went to school with my kids. He didn't do it. But the fact remains that usually there's always reasons why. And in that situation, very interesting that they were constantly showing us the different camera takes and the different, this is where he was and things like that. Because what are they trying to do? They're trying to come in and get us all to get these cameras so we can always catch a bad guy. Well, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, just
don't do it. Yeah.
I love how they make it in terms that seem like a right. We're focused on giving camera owners meaningful context about critical events in their neighborhoods. Now, that sounds like such propaganda. Somebody honed that statement, like a lost pet or nearby fires, so they can decide whether and how to help their community.
Don't fall for it.
What's that?
Don't fall for it, people. I know. The marketing is horrid. The marketing is that needy and that crazy that they would be like, oh, don't be a dog hater, find a lost dog and help your neighbor, but get a Ring camera so that we can find out what's going on in every, city in America, home to home. Who's coming, who's going, who visits you, who doesn't, what is said, what is not said. I mean, it's ridiculous how much they want to spy, how desperate they are to spy.
I never really realized how efficient these systems were, especially like the Flock system, until I watched an online police video. Guy gets pulled over. They have 100 pounds of marijuana they find in his truck, and they're like, well, where did you get this and where are you going? And he gives the story, the driver. And then the police officer says, no, I'm sitting here on my little computer. I just pulled up your car. The data shows that you went from Texas into New Mexico yesterday morning at 11 a.m. And then you left New Mexico and you came into this state at such and such last night. And the guy said, you just pulled all that up? He goes, yeah, I just put in your license plate number. And the cameras, the AI just has compiled all of that instantaneously. And I thought, wow, that
people buy into it. Yeah, they think it's a good thing. They think everyone, wearing a camera is a good thing. They think it is asinine. And then it's interesting when we have false flags and nobody has any camera footage. We all have cameras on us, but no footage available whatsoever. So yeah, they are desperate. They're desperate at figuring out all kinds of ways to rob us of our Fourth Amendment, our privacy, and make sure that they can do what they do, and people don't really fight it. They just don't. And the fact that I think data centers are a lie. I don't think they're actually storing data, but a lot of people do. And it's okay if we disagree. I just don't believe it. But I'll tell you what, they want those things in every city, and there's a reason for it. And they want everybody to have a Ring camera to catch a bad guy. Yeah, I think that we should just really pay attention to the marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. And just not fall for it, regardless of whether or not it has a cute commercial at the Super Bowl. That should be the first red flag, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
The first red flag. So I also wanted to talk really quick about something that's kind of popped up.
Okay.
And I think this has been a long-term thing, but now because of AI and bots, it's growing exponentially, and that is ghost students. Have you heard about this phenomena?
No.
Ghost students. So for example, in Maryland, they lost $20 million of inventory. They went in and did this audit, and then they found that the school had 4,000 applicants as potential ghost students, but they never followed up. So these are fake students who apply for the aid. They don't show up either online. So this is especially to online classes, and they just get the financial aid and then disappear with the aid. And so in this case, this is happening at community colleges across the country, in part because you have such a high acceptance rate at community college. It's such a low bar to get into community college. And they said, so this is the huge flaw. At this audit also, this was another part. It said 71 employees received paychecks after they left their jobs. It's clearly they try and nickel and dime us as taxpayers, and then they just open the floodgates when it comes to where that taxpayer money is going, if it goes into the right coffers, right? But these ghost students, let me just tell you, they're passive enrollees. They're not actually human, but they're AI generated ghost students. They're non-participative, and they specifically target virtual classes. Over the last 12 months, reportedly, state colleges handed off 10 million in federal funds and 3 million in state funds, according to Cal Matters. I think that seems incredibly low, because they said the total at one point was over $2 billion over the last few years. And it especially jumped in 2021. It says roughly 20% of 2021 college applicants were likely fraudulent. And then in 2024, the number of fake applications rose to 25%. The fraction shot up this year in 2026, with 34% of all college applications being suspected ghost students to community colleges. And so it is artificial bots infiltrating college classes in a financial fraud scheme. And it has to do with that factor of the high acceptance rates. And so what teachers have to do is they have to do like a reality check. Like, we want to see a video of you, or make a video of yourself and why you're in this class, why it's important. And so a lot of students, there's a good chunk that then don't complete that and they get dropped from the class. But AI bots are figuring out even ways around those requirements. And so it's, people, so one teacher says, I send out an email that says, are you just overwhelmed at work and haven't gotten around to starting the class yet? Or are you not a real person? She said 5 people from her 40 student online real estate course just didn't engage. And she had to slash 11 student, most of them bots from the class. And the problem becomes in part, kids go online, the class is full. And a big chunk of that is bots. And so they're not getting the classes they want, actual kids. Our kids are competing with bots. I just think we've unleashed, open Pandora's box, all this AI stuff. And now we're trying to figure out how real humans have to fend them off. I like this one quote. Teachers get excited when there's a lot of interest in their class. I felt like, great, I'm going to have a whole bunch of students who are invested in learning. But then it quickly appeared that was not the case. And that's sad when you think of sincere students logging on, this class is full, this class is full, and they genuinely want to take. And I actually think community college for certificate purposes or something could be really, really helpful. And so they said they have to figure out how to do this. Oh, here it was. Finance executive, the chancellor's office in California said the scope of the fraud, considering the community college received 1.7 billion in federal aid and 1.5 billion, but they're saying it's a huge number. Millions, tens of millions in fraudulent aid. And then where does that disappear to, you wonder?
Right.
Where is this disappearing to? And I get the impression they can clamp down if they want to, when you consider how much fraud there is in general with, I will never forget the moment I learned that all you had to do was cross-compare 2 databases, property tax database with household and voter database, to see, are there 40 people registered to one address? All you had to do was that. Is it an empty lot? That's all you had to do.
Right.
And it wasn't being done. And then you go, oh, I get it. This is the grift, right? So part of me says, this is the grift. This has been increasing since 2021. We can't get on top of it. So it's just more money. That government is like a sieve. Like we pour all this money into it, and then it's just this sieve, leaking money everywhere.
It's just a giant money laundering op.
It really is. And when, you appreciate the fact that if there were 71 employees at one community college who were still getting paychecks after they were no longer teaching, not pensions, paychecks, and nobody followed up on that until an auditor came in, you realize so many people have been corrupted by the money. They're like, look, freezing money and you don't get caught.
Right.
Sure. That's what's really happened. And that's really sad.
Yeah. In fact, it was funny. I was looking at the amount we were sending over to Iran, right, in our deal from yesterday. Oh, yeah. The pinky promise not to build nukes, which made me laugh. And then, of course, because it's been this way for 40 years. And then also the $300 billion payoff when, right. So to build a wall without technology, just to build a wall on our southern border, as our conservative base promised for the last 25 years, but never did it, is at like $40 billion, okay, to do that. And if you guys noticed in the one beautiful big bill, whatever it was in February of this year, it was talked about that we were putting in a smart wall. So not just a wall, a smart wall that's going to cost a lot more. And people don't realize that we're being contained as a smart country. We are building the containment, I should say, that's a better way to put it, of a
Can't
smart,
get in and you can't get out.
yeah, we don't need a smart wall. We just needed a wall. And we just also, they never talk about the tunnels, but because the FBI uses the stupid scapegoat that they're watching for bombs, even though those bombs never hit America. And that they allow the drug dealers and the illegals to go through because they're on a bigger mission for the bombs, which is absolutely asinine, and people do believe that. And but they don't ever mention the tunnels. See, they build the wall, but not the tunnels. And so as things are being built right in front of our faces, that smart wall is being built, but it's a smart wall because the deep state wants us to be a smart country. So they want Ring cameras, they want a wall with smart technology, everything, because we're going into smart cities, and technology cities, NSA spying cities, and nobody wants to look at it. Nobody wants to see it. And so they just pass it off as, we'll see, we finally got some money for the wall. And it's like, it won't, it's just amazing that people don't really look at what's being installed, and doesn't matter what flavor of government, right or left, it's all getting done right in front of our eyes, and we don't see it. So I'm just pointing that out because a lot of people
keep falling for the same spiel.
Yep.
They keep saying it and
Yep.
they keep not doing it.
Yeah.
And that's gaslighting. That's
Yep.
being passive aggressive.
The rhinos. Yeah, I agree.
That's
The
what
rhinos. Yeah.
that's the definition of
Yeah.
passive aggressiveness.
We're in
is to
Utah.
go, yeah, look at me doing it. And you
Mhm.
say to your child who's sitting there in
Yeah.
front of the TV, no, you haven't
Yeah.
moved. You're not doing
Mhm.
it. Yeah, I'm
Right.
doing it. No, you're not.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we know how this
Yeah.
we know how this goes. But voters, are we even voters in charge of the system? I'm
No.
not sure.
No,
I
we're
don't
not.
think
That
so.
we don't have elections, and people don't want to know that.
No, that's
It
a
kills their
hard thing
hope.
to
I'm like, get your
accept,
hope
and
out of
it's-
freaking government. Like, if that's your hope, then you're really lost. But yeah, people don't want to see it. But we lost our elections a long time ago to software. So also, the country is getting built as a smart country right under our feet, and we don't see it. We are in Utah. We have all rhinos running the show. They're all liars. They're disgusting. I don't know anyone that I could actually go, well, they're amazing. I just, maybe one, but it's amazing how bad it is. And I know that you guys in conservative states where Arizona was conservative, Idaho is supposed to be conservative, different states that are supposed to be conservative, even Texas. I've got listeners all over the world. And let me just tell you, I hear horror stories coming out of the red states as much as the blue, because in the red states, people are more asleep because the conservative base there thinks that they're on their side because they say all the right things and have those catchy slogans on their posters when they're running for office. And they're so stupid, like, stand your ground. I'm just going to stand my ground. I'm like, what does that even mean? You haven't stood your ground forever. But people will put these catchy slogans and say the right things in speeches, and everybody goes back to sleep. We're just lulled to sleep all the time. So it's going on right now, and it's going on even on our right with a president that's supposed to save us from the deep state implementing all the deep state measures. People don't want to see it. It just drives me crazy. Doesn't it drive you crazy, Susan? It drives me nuts.
To be standing outside and to watch it happening and to try and wake people up. And you realize they don't want to be woken up. It's uncomfortable to be awakened and see it. I was watching the contractor who paved over the Charlie Kirk assassination site
within a day or something.
2 days later. Yep. And he was saying with pavers, he said he got an emergency call from somebody in the Utah government or somewhere. And they said it was the FBI and the governor. This order was coming from the FBI and the governor, which did not surprise me at all. They had an emergency paving job. And he said, I said to them, what is an emergency paving job?
Yeah,
exactly. What is it? And that they said, we need you. And he said, we got there in an hour and a half and started doing it. But when I heard it was the FBI and the governor, Governor Cox, I was like, okay, who needs more proof that you have somebody who is highly compromised in that position? So it really,
we have a very compromised governor here.
If they're surprised by that, They just want to
Yeah.
live in a different bandwidth
Mhm.
of reality. That's what I've
Mhm.
come to appreciate. They're on their own path. They want to live on
Yep.
their own bandwidth, and they cannot handle the friction of seeing a higher,
Mhm.
a higher level of information that gives more insight and more context.
Yeah.
It's just too complex. They can't
Yep.
handle that.
I
So
know.
we're just stuck, but I'm glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're you and I'm me, and we can
And we can still do this right now anyway.
we're
Yeah.
continuing to see and watch.
I,
Right.
it's I'm just, oh, I wish people would open their eyes to what is projected, what's going on. I wrote that book on organ donation because people do not understand how the word brain death got started. And once you finally realize the truth, I mean, it's pretty mind blowing, and the lies that were told by Harvard and all of the corruption along with that, and what that business turns into in the future after 2030. And I wrote an ebook about it. It's available right now. Go get it. I just posted it, and it's important information to know. And also the one on cancer and treating it naturally and holistically, what works, what doesn't, and also AI, where AI is going and why it's going there. And most people aren't talking about this because it's not necessarily the digital ID. There's another reason, a front reason that they're doing AI right now, and they're creating a lie. And as they create this lie, people aren't going to know what's coming. They're not going to understand it. And I am telling you, get all those books at katetalks.myshopify.com. But what we just don't want to look ahead. We don't want to see. And if you see and you look ahead, you're called a conspiracy theorist right away. But that's okay. Just be called one. At least you're not stupid. At least you're not living in a 10-minute realm. Because I meet a lot of lefties and a lot of people on the left that are and on the right too, I have to say, that are in a 10-minute realm. I mean, they don't even know what happened 3 months ago, and they can't look at patterns and what's been going on for decades and what it's leading to. It's amazing, a 10-minute paradigm, so.
No, it's absolutely true. And one thing I forgot to mention, you just reminded me actually, is in the way that students are being required to verify their humanity is through biometrics. So it's like, how do we clamp down on this problem of AI bots? We need more biometrics from the human population. And I thought, okay, you can see how that does not work in the students' favor. That works in the government favor.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you, Susan. I appreciate you coming on.
So welcome.
Thank
Always
you.
my pleasure, Kate.
Well, I really, really appreciate it. Thanks. Just a lot to think about. And honestly, think about some of these things that are just coming and that no one wants to talk about or think about, because everybody needs a little happy, because we're all in this PTSD. And I get the PTSD. I understand it. I've been doing nothing but studying this crap for, 16 and a half years. And you would think that I would be really negative and hiding in a closet by now, but nope. Actually, my faith in God is what gets me through it, and realizing that there's a lot we can do. There's a lot of good we can do about it, and create neighborhoods of good, caring people that don't fall for all the scams. But like I said, my faith in God is at the helm of that. So I think that's the one thing that gets me through. And when I started out 16 years ago, I was kind of like just a kind of an idiot rhino. Like I just figured Fox News was pretty good and different from CNN. And I just didn't realize how bought and sold and how insane it was, the media itself. And I've worked now in major media, and let me just tell you, people have no clue how bad it is. They have no clue. They don't want to look. They don't want to hear about it. And I do my best to try to get people to understand, but no one wants to hear. Because why? Because we've created this problem where we need a hero. We need to be saved. We want somebody to save us, and we want it to be fast, and we want it to be quick and easy. So it's not quick, it's not fast, and it's not easy. And also, if your hero worship is in government and a person in government, if that's where your heroes lie, I just feel sorry for you because that is not happening. It's never happened that way. There is no hero coming to get you or save you in government. They are only there to strip you of your liberty, piece by piece, dismantling it. There is no saving. There's no saving there. So get your hope out of government. It's that easy. Just get your hope out of there. Get your hope in other people, people that you have confidence in, people that you can trust. Create neighborhoods, create a situation where you are surrounded by people who understand what's coming and who want to help and want to do what's right, because that's the only thing saving you. Like I said, if your hero is in Washington, if your hero is a local person, mayor that's going to save you, they're not. They're bought and sold now at this point. The party picks them. So there's a reason that they win the election. Even though everyone hates them, there's a reason they win. And I just tell you this because sometimes somebody needs to shake you and go, stop. Just stop being an idiot. So, and this is how I was able to tell you in 2022 who was going in the presidency in 2024. And I would have bet my home on it. And I staked my reputation on it because I knew exactly who was going in, and all you had to do, and it wasn't like you had to read tea leaves. All you had to do was understand what they were putting in media in 2022 to understand who was going to win in 2024. And then everyone walked away going, we're going to get saved. And I'm like, no, it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite. They're just going to do everything because we're complacent. There was a reason they wanted to make us complacent. So, on that cheery note, hey, you know what? There is hope. We got God, and God can perform a lot of miracles, and I do believe that. And then we also have the surrounding ourselves with people, and also understand and spend your time trying to figure out how to do things. I think that's going to be really, really beneficial in the future. How to do things, even if you have to learn it off YouTube right now, just understand how to do things for ourselves without being dependent on the medical cabal or government or anything else. Just know how to do things. That's my biggest advice. And that brings empowerment and happiness, by the way, when you are self-sufficient. So there's one way to get rid of the stress of kind of understanding or knowing if you're one of those people that understands or knows what's coming. So really, really appreciate you guys. Be faithful, be fearless. And there's just, my faith is in you guys that understand, that know. And I think that's the most important thing. Also, get healthy. That's why I do the Cardio Miracle thing twice a day, is because health is a big deal right now. And you should be really looking into why so many are getting dementia and what's causing that, and the loss of minerals that we have. Please start doing more homework on that. I've done shows on it, but do more homework on that, because there's a reason that dementia is just growing like wildfire with the baby boomer generation. Okay. They're all going to be there. There's a lot that I shouldn't say all, there's a lot that are going to be in lockdown units for memory care earlier than what we think. Because of the shutdown of the brain and what's going on and what's causing it. All right, you guys, I will be back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, be faithful, be fearless. And I'll see you on the flip side tomorrow, same time. And we'll be live. And I always look at your comments, and thank you for those. I learn from you guys, and I love it. Thank you. Oh, go to katetalks.myshopify.com and go get the ebooks, the new one on organ donation. Share it with a friend.